starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Yud in haGuela, and this is the hemshech of Siman Tes. Tes and Yud are about the Indian of thanking Hashem for the war, or davening during the war, and what the thoughts a person should have are. V'yomarti kvar b'bir divrei Ramban zal. I said once, pshat in this Ramban, b'parshas b'shalach. The Ramban is on b'shalach al apasik vayitzaku v'nei Yisrael Hashem. Hamibli ein kvarim b'Mitzrayim. That when the Yidden were standing by the Yam Suf, and the Mitzrayim were pursuing them, they cried out to Hashem. They had nowhere to go. They couldn't go forward or backwards. They cried out to Hashem, and they said, is it because there were not enough kvarim in Mitzrayim that you had to take us out here to die in the Midbar and be buried here? Why did you take us out of Mitzrayim? We said to you, leave us alone, let us be slaves in Mitzrayim rather than die in the Midbar. So the Ramban asks, the Eichi Taching, how is it possible? Ki b'nei adam atzoikim al Hashem lo hishia, yivatu b'Yeshua, asher asa lahem. How could they daven to Hashem to save them from this danger, and at the same time be angry at Hashem for saving them last time? Hashem saved them from Mitzrayim. He did Nisim. He did the Yasser Makas. He saved them from Mitzrayim. And they're angry at that. They don't want Hashem to save them. Now they're davening to Hashem to save them again? What's going on here? They're saying that it would have been better if he hadn't saved them. The Ramban answers, that these were two different groups among the Jews. One group was davening to Hashem and saying, that's it. But the other group, was denying their prophecy. I think in the Ramban the Ger says b'nevion. They were machish their navi, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu. They were denying Moshe Rabbeinu. Ve'ena boicheres b'Yeshua hanas elahem. They didn't want anybody to save them. They didn't want Hashem to save them from Mitzrayim. They didn't want Hashem to save them now. And they were just complaining. They're saying it would have been better if you hadn't taken them out of Mitzrayim. Ad kan to'er dvarav. Alafi dvarav zal yikshe. The problem with the Ramban is, Moshe said back to them that Hashem yilachem lachem v'atem tacharishun. Hashem will fight for you and you will be silent. Don't daven. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu tell them not to daven? Davening to Hashem is always a good thing. So Bishlam, the group that was complaining, good, he could tell them to be quiet. But why was he telling the other group that prayed to Hashem, why was he telling them to be quiet? Rav ben Ezra, Zal, Pirish Demasha Omra Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Ibn Ezra, yeah. Right after that, it says, Vayomer Hashem Moshe Matitzak Elai Daber El Bnei Yisrael V'Yisau. What Hashem said to Moshe, what are you crying out to me? Stop crying, right? And travel, start walking into the Yam Suf. Demasha Omra Kodesh Baruch Hu Matitzak Elai Nemar LaMoshe Shehu Keneged Kol Yisrael. That pasuk means not Davka Moshe, but it means the whole Jewish people. He spoke to Moshe on behalf of the Jews, and he said, "Stop crying." Because they were crying, they were yelling out to Hashem. So the Ibn Ezra is saying they shouldn't have prayed either. He's also saying the same thing. The Hikshal of Ramban Zal, the Ramban himself asks on the Ibn Ezra and says, "Haloi hatza'akol lifnei Hashem toivahi v'roy lohem litzoik ayin sham." He says it's good for them to cry out. It's good for them to daven. So here you have a steer minei bay in the Ramban. The Ramban is saying it's good for them to cry out. You shouldn't silence them. And yet the Ramban himself says that they were praying to Hashem, and Moshe said, "Vatem tachrishun," be quiet. So what's going on here? Amnam nira. The teretz seems to be the avagav de'atzu'akol lefanav yisbarach toivahu Even though crying out to Hashem is good, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mis'avel l'tfilas Shel Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to daven. Aval b'shah shetzayachim arashoim b'divrei chirufin v'gidufin. When there's a group next to you that's crying out and using different words, not crying out to Hashem for help, but actually insulting Hashem. Tzarich lihibadol mehem v'lishtoik. It's better to stay separate from them, and if you're with them, it's better to be quiet. Don't join their prayer. Even if you're going to be saying good things, you're going to say tefillas, and you're going to ask for help. You're going to thank Hashem. Even though you're saying different words from them, completely different words, they're saying a rally to support the tzahal, and you're saying, thank you Hashem for saving us, or please Hashem save us. You call makom b'tzahakam yachad, when you go together and you pray together, noisnim lahem chizuk. This gives them support and encouragement. V'nira k'misayeh lahem. It looks like you're helping them. Ki lefa'amim hashomea lo yavchim beinoisam. Sometimes people will see that you're at the same rally, and they won't really know the difference. They'll see, look, there's 10,000 Jews, and they're at a rally, and they're rallying for Israel, let's say. And you're not rallying for Israel, you're rallying to ask Hashem for help. They'll say, look, you see, the Orthodox Jews also support the Medina. They're also thinking the same Aveira as the other people. And then that person will say, okay, I'm also going to be a Zionist. So therefore, Moshe heard one group davening to Hashem, one group being boyet, being rejecting of the Exodus, and he said, "V'atem tacharishon, be quiet, both of you." Hashem doesn't want a prayer that's mixed with other people who are insulting him. This explains the Ibn Ezra who says that Ma titzach elai kol al bnei Yisrael shetzaku Hashem. That Hashem was saying, stop crying to me. Stop crying to me because you're crying together with these people who are Rishaim. So therefore, in our subject also, it's also to join the Zionists' songs and of thanks and everything that they thank for the war. Even if you're having the right kavanos. Well, not for that, but any type of song or happiness or dancing or party that they have to celebrate the victory of the war, they're celebrating the victory.
Sharm al-Sheikh.
Well, I don't know what that means.
It's a song.
Yeah? So, it's not a...
haGuela.
What?
haGuela? Are you sure?
Whatever. It's not... Yeah, well, it's not talking about any particular song, but it's saying if you're celebrating together with them, even if you celebrate with your kavanas in mind, you're saying, I'm celebrating that Hashem saved us, and they're celebrating that Tzahal saved us, that's no good.
Oh, what's the horror?
That's what we said before.
What's the horror?
Yeah. That's not necessarily. Stay far from these people who insult Hashem. Yeah. So this is the reason not to join a Zionist prayer rally or going to the Kaisel together to all daven, because you never know what they're davening for. The organizers of the rally and the signs that they put up could be against the Torah.